Hey up, right, I'm trying to ease myself back into normality again. We've had sort of 3 months of house refurbishments and DIY, and then of course Paula became ill, which she's getting better now. Just a big thanks to everybody that keeps asking about her welfare. It's in every single video now, which is quite heartwarming. She's improving, but she's still got a bit of a hill to climb. And then of course we've gone straight into sort of back-to-back reviews with new motorcycle models, the BSs and the Royal Alloy. And if I'm honest, I've missed working on the Honda GB350s, and I've been itching to get back on it. Over the last few days I've been thinking to myself how lucky we are nowadays as motorcycles, especially if you own a modern classic like the Honda or the Royal Enfields or the BSAs, and of course the plethora of Triumph modern classic motorcycles, the Bonnevilles, in that there are so many high quality accessories available now. You know, when I look back to 40 years ago when I first started riding, the choice of accessories was so poor, and they were very expensive and usually of only mediocre quality. And now we're absolutely spoiled for choice, and the quality these days is out of this world compared to, you know, what was available even 30 or 20 years ago. And now from the likes of Motone Customs, we're even seeing accessories made from what used to be considered very exotic materials. I mean, we used to consider it to be a bonus if a manufacturer made things out of stainless steel. Now they're using materials like titanium, a metal that used to be so expensive it would probably cost more than your motorcycle to make even a small accessory from it. It's very difficult to turn the raw elements of titanium into a metal. It's still expensive today, but as the demand for this metal through aerospace and specialist automotive applications has increased, the price has gradually come down. Titanium has always been prized for its strength and lightweight properties. Pound for pound, a component made out of titanium compared to an equivalent component made from steel has the same strength but can be 45% lighter. But unlike ordinary mild steel, it's very corrosion resistant. It's a difficult metal to work with, but over the last few years Motone Customs have been gradually rolling out a small range of titanium products, mainly for the Triumph Bonneville models. And the custom part that I want to look at today that's made from titanium is the Twister from Motone Customs, a clutch cable speed adjuster. Now, Sam sent these through to me actually about 3 months ago, right at the beginning of my kitchen renovations, and I didn't really have much time to do anything with them. And if I'm honest, I remember thinking at the time, these are going to be so ridiculously expensive that, you know, it's going to be really difficult to make a positive video about them. So, they literally sort of got lost in the jumble of stuff that was stored away while we were sorting the kitchen out. Now, about 6 weeks later, when everything had calmed down, I pulled them out with every intention of making today's video with them. I mentioned to Sam that I was going to do it, and he said, "No, don't, stop. I've sold out. And it's going to be another 3 or 4 weeks before I've got the second batch in." Now, I've got to admit, I was a little bit surprised because I thought this was the kind of thing, as lovely as they are, I thought this was the kind of thing that would just sit on the shelves for years and hardly move. But then I had a look at the price. I'm not going to tell you what the price is, but I was quite gobsmacked when I saw how much these are. They really are very reasonably priced. I'll leave a link in the video description down below along with that 12% exclusive discount. Now, these were created by Motone Customs especially for the liquid-cooled Bonneville models. They're an M8 by 1.25 by 18 thread, which is actually pretty standard in the motorcycle industry. But certain manufacturers use weird ferrule designs on the end of the cable sleeves, which means they can't be used with these. Luckily, that can be used with the Honda GB350s. Now, I checked out the ferrule designs on both the J Series Royal Enfield and the BSA Gold Star. As you see, the ferrule is of a non-standard design, and in both cases the designs are very different from each other. I think they would very possibly still work, but they just wouldn't look very good. There are two versions of the Twister, both are the same design, but one is a natural titanium finish that's been polished. The other is black with a PVD coating, which is similar to the coatings that they use on black watch cases. Physical vapor deposition, very durable and long lasting. These are CNC machined from titanium grade 5 billet. They are Motone Customs' own unique design, and as you can see, they've actually cut out a recess in the locking wheel for the ferrule receiver on the adjuster to sit into, which looks much tidier, and of course it gives you just a few millimeters extra adjustment compared to a standard adjuster. Grade 5 titanium was developed specifically for the aircraft and spacecraft industry. It's significantly stronger than pure titanium, a specialist alloy containing approximately 6% aluminium and 4% palladium. Now, the clutch cable does have a gator over it on the GB350. I mean, that's a blast from the past. Every bike had these in the 70s, going right into the 80s. You barely see them nowadays. They are great for protecting, the top of your clutch cable from the elements. It just shows how much we've lost over the years by motorcycle manufacturers cutting costs. And it does at least hide those ugly, cheap speed adjusters that manufacturers tend to put on the bikes these days. Now, you can take this gator off, it's easy, and I'll show you while I'm fitting it here. Almost without a doubt there will be too much tension on the cable for you to be able to safely remove your cable adjuster from the bike. So the first thing you need to do is adjust it at the clutch. Pay attention to the position of the lock nut at the back, hold it in place, and then unscrew the adjuster nut right to the end so that you've taken all the pressure off the cable. And that will give you more than enough slack to safely remove your speed adjuster. You should then find that you've got ample slack to, with reasonable ease, unscrew your speed adjuster all the way. I'm not going to cut any bits out here, this is all in real time. Now, as you screw it out, you will find that you're effectively removing that slack that you've just put in at the other end, so it might get a little bit more difficult towards the end, but there should be enough slack there to do it, don't worry about that. Once the thread is free from the lever, just line up the two slots on the locking nut and the adjuster and slide the cable out. And you're now ready to fit your new titanium adjuster, unless you want to remove that rubber boot. Now, if you do want to remove the boot or gator, you'll just need to free the cable up from the actual clutch lever, and then the boot will easily slide over it. You know, that's how it was put on at the end of the day, and you can go ahead and fit your adjuster without the boot. I quite like having the boot there, so I retained it for this fitting. The next thing to do is to screw the locking wheel onto the adjuster itself. I think I was just checking that the threads were okay here. Obviously, although I was pretty certain these threads were correct, I just wanted to make doubly sure before I went ahead with the installation. Yeah, so screw your locking wheel onto your adjuster, making sure, of course, that the ferrule receiver screws into that recess on the locking nut. It's best not to insert the cable into the adjuster while you're screwing it on until you've got it a good way in, because there is that possibility that that little bit of tension that is still there might pull the thread slightly out of alignment, and then there's the risk of cross-threading. It's also much easier to get the cable into the adjuster once it's been fully screwed in. When you think you've got it screwed in far enough, align the two slots on the adjuster and then just carefully thread your cable in. Guess what adjustment you're going to require here. I mean, obviously all the slack has been released on the other end near the clutch, so it's not too critical. Just adjust it to whereabout you think it needs to be, and then it's time to go to the other end, of course, and tighten up the cable from the clutch end. The great thing about the recess in that locking wheel is that it allows the locking wheel to be a lot wider than it is on a conventional setup, which means it's much easier to turn. Often they're so thin that you really struggle to be able to get sort of enough purchase on them to be able to turn them, especially when they've been on for a while. So yeah, it's a welcome change in design. Return the adjustment at the clutch back to where it was. That should be fairly easy, and then you can make the final adjustment on the quick adjuster. And you're looking for between sort of 2 and 4 millimeters slack at the lever before you feel the lever taking up any tension on the cable. Just adjust accordingly with your speed adjuster, and when you've got it right, lock it in place with that locking nut. Before riding the bike, it's always a good idea, if you can, to just put it on a centre stand if you have one, depending on your bike obviously. Start the engine up and just check your clutch action and change through a few gears. Make sure that you're getting a good clean gear change and that there's no sort of clutch creep, which might indicate that your clutch cable's a little bit too slack. Just make sure that when your bike is in gear, and it doesn't matter which gear, any gear will do, when you pull the clutch in, that the actual drive itself comes to a halt and doesn't continue to spin. I mean, all bikes do a little bit. If you just put your foot on the rear wheel to stop it, it should stay there and it shouldn't continue to creep forward. That's an indication that everything is as it should be. So yeah, whatever next? A high quality speed cable adjuster made out of a space-age material like titanium. We're living in the future. Like I said earlier on, I was a little bit sceptical about these when I first saw them. I mean, the gorgeous pieces of motorcycle jewellery, but I just had it in my head that they were going to be ridiculously priced, and they're not. Seriously, go and have a look for yourself. Very reasonably priced. A beautiful, long-lasting upgrade which will, I think, last much longer than the originals, which are generally a fairly low quality steel that's been plated. And there's no doubt about it, they are far more user friendly than the usual tat that comes on your bike as standard. Now, as I said earlier on, I will leave a link to these components on Motone's website in the video description down below. And as usual, as I've already said, there will be the exclusive to this channel, 12% discount for viewers of my videos. Just a little discount code to pop in at the payment section when you go to the checkout. And that's 12% discount for any purchase from Motone Customs official website, not just these adjusters. Right, once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this and my other videos, and in doing so helping to support this channel. I really do appreciate it. There are other ways you can help me out by leaving a like if you enjoyed this video, and hyping the video if the hype button is available to you. You can also subscribe to the channel if you're not already a subscriber. You can help me out in other ways via my Patreon page or via PayPal donations, or you can use the super thanks button down below. Not essential, but it is appreciated. I will of course be back on Friday, so until then, please ride safely and I'll see you soon.